My girlfriend cheated on me with her ex and demanded an open relationship. So I left, rebuilt my life, got a better job and partner while she lost everything, spiraled into debt and chaos. This happened a couple years back, but my buddy Nathan finally convinced me to post it. Said the internet needs to hear this one. Buckle up because it's a long ride, but if you've ever been blindsided by someone you thought was your person, stick around. I, 29 male, met Carara, 27 female, back in college about 8 years ago. We were both at Ohio State studying business, me in finance, her in marketing. First time I saw her was in Econ 2011, third row, arguing with Professor Morrison about supply chain theory. She was dead wrong, by the way, but she argued with such confidence that even Morrison looked impressed. That was Carara. Confident, ambitious, absolutely convinced she was the smartest person in any room. Me, I was the steady, always have been. My dad drilled it into me growing up. Plan for the worst, work for the best. Never leave yourself without option. I lived by that. Had a color-coded study schedule by sophomore year, a 5-year financial plan saved on my laptop, and a spreadsheet tracking every dollar I spent, down to the Taco Bell runs at 2 a.m. Sounds boring, I know, but it worked. We started dating junior year after bumping into each other at this coffee shop near campus called The Grind. She was stressed about some group project, ranting to her friend about lazy teammates. I was at the next table and made a joke about carrying dead weight being good training for real life. She laughed. That laugh could literally stop traffic, man. 2 hours later, we're still talking. Coffee gone cold. Both of us missing our next class and not caring. Dating Kara felt different from the start. She had plans, ambitions, this vision for her future that made her eyes light up when she talked about it. She wanted to build something. I respected that. I wanted to build it with her. After graduation, I landed a solid gig at Morrison & Associates, a mid-sized investment firm here in Columbus. Starting salary $62,000. Nothing crazy, but stable, good benefit. 401k match with 4% employer contribution. Clear promotion track, exactly what I'd planned for since sophomore. Bought myself a used F-150 from this retired contractor named Earl who'd babied that truck like his firstborn. 43,000 miles and a maintenance record thicker than my college text. He even threw in the upgraded bedliner for free because, and I quote, "You seem like a young man who will appreciate her." Paid that thing off in 18 months because debt makes me twitchy. Something about owing money keeps me up at night. Kara struggled more in those early years. Her first marketing gig at this tech startup called Brightwave imploded spectacularly when the founder got caught in embezzling, and the whole company went belly up after 6 months. Then she bounced between freelance stuff and temp work, never landing anything permanent. I watched her send out dozens of applications, customized cover letters until 2 a.m., get hyped for interviews that went nowhere. I didn't mind stepping up. Covered most of our $1,400 per month rent so she could focus on building her portfolio instead of taking some soul-crushing retail job at the mall. Figured that's what partners do. We were a team. When one person stumbles, the other catch. Those late nights after my 12-hour days crunching numbers, I'd come home eyes burning from spreadsheets, and she'd be stressed about some client ghosting her or a pitch that didn't land. I'd make dinner, usually my mom's pasta recipe or this stir-fry I'd perfected over the years, and let her vent about how unfair the marketing industry was. We've got this, I'd say, rubbing her shoulders while she's stressed, and she'd smile and lean into me, and everything felt right for a while. I sacrificed a lot during those years without making a big deal about it. There was that promotion to Denver, 15% raise, corner office, the work. My boss, Brad, practically begged me to take it. Opportunities like this don't come twice, he said, looking at me like I'd lost my mind when I turned it down. But Kara had just landed her first real client, some boutique hotel chain called the Waverly Collection, that wanted a complete social media overhaul. Uprooting everything would have derailed her momentum. I believed relationships required sacrifice. Skipped 3 Christmases with my family back in Cleveland to help knock out her student loans faster. Told my mom it was work when really I was picking up extra weekend shifts and funneling every dollar toward her $32,000 in debt. When that final payment went through, she cried. Happy tears, she said. I felt like we'd conquered something together. Even small stuff added up. Put off upgrading my truck's worn tires for an extra 4 months so we could afford her networking event. Those industry mixers weren't cheap. $50 here, $75 there. Then there was the MacBook Pro. $2,200 for a laptop she swore was essential for design. I pulled it from my emergency fund without hesitation. I wasn't keeping score, just believed in it. We talked about the future constantly. Marriage, kids, a house with a yard in Dublin or Westerville, those nice suburbs where you could raise a family. She wore this promise ring I gave her on our 3rd anniversary. A simple silver band with a small sapphire that matched her eyes cost me $800, which was a lot back then. We'd joke about upgrading it someday. When I land a really big client, she'd say, admiring how the stone caught the light, "Then you can get me the real thing." I already had the real thing picked out. $6,800 at Morrison's Jewelers downtown. A princess-cut diamond that would have made her jaw drop. They were holding it for me, just waiting for the right moment. Red flags started popping up about 2 years ago. Subtle at first, the kind of stuff you explain away because you don't want to see what's happening right in front of your face. Carara reconnected with her ex Derek through some mutual friends on Facebook. At first it seemed harmless, just catching up with an old friend from high school. Derek says, "Hi," she'd mentioned casually while scrolling through her phone at dinner. I didn't think much of it. People reconnect all the time. That's literally what Facebook is for. But here's the thing about Derek. Dude was the bad boy type from her high school days. Tattoos up both arms, some dragon thing, and a bunch of tribal stuff that looked like it came from a 2005 flash sheet. Rode a beat-up Harley Sportster, always chasing the next thrill. The kind of guy who thinks wearing a leather jacket in July makes him look cool instead of just sweaty and desperate. He dumped her senior year for some cheerleader named Britt. Broke her heart pretty bad from what she told me during our early dating day. But now Captain Excitement was single again, tending bar at some place called the Rusty Nail and DJing at clubs on weekend. No career trajectory, no savings, no 5-year plan, but apparently that was the appeal. The comparison started creeping in. Subtle at first, like she didn't even realize she was doing it. Derek's so spontaneous. We should try being more spontaneous. Derek went skydiving last weekend. We never do anything adventurous like that. Derek says, small towns kill creativity. Maybe we should think about moving somewhere more exciting. Every comparison felt like a paper cut. Not painful enough to react to individually, but they add up. Death by 1,000 cuts, you know. Then the throwback photos started appearing on her Instagram. Group shots from high school with him prominently featured. Captions full of inside jokes I didn't understand. Remember that time at the bonfire at Derek Mitchell LOL? Made me feel like an outsider looking in at her path. I confronted her once over breakfast. Saturday morning made her favorite egg. Kept my voice neutral. This thing with Derek, the constant texting, the throwback posts, it feels off to me. What's going on? She actually rolled her eyes at me like I was being unreasonable. You're being paranoid. It's just nostalgia. Everyone reconnects with old friends. It's not the reconnecting that bothers me. It's the comparing. What? Comparing Derek. So spontaneous. Derek went skydiving. Derek says we should move. Ring any bells? She set down her fork. I'm just making conversation. I didn't realize I needed to filter every thought through your approval first. I wanted to believe her, so I did. Dropped it. Mistake. But then the late nights with friends increased. She'd leave at 8, not come home until well past midnight. When I asked who she was with, the answers got vague. Just people from work. Some girls from my networking group, never specific names, never invitations for me to join. Her phone became surgically attached to her hand. She'd take it into the bathroom, sleep with it under her pillow angle, the screen away from me whenever texts came. I'd wake up at 2 a.m. to her giggling at messages in the dark, the screen lighting up her face while she thought I was asleep. I tried to fix it. Planned surprise dates that nice Italian place downtown she'd been wanting to try. Booked us a cabin at Hawking Hills for a long weekend. Nice place, $280 a night. Hot tub on the deck, the work. Figured we could reconnect, talk things out. She canceled last minute. Forgot she had plans with her girlfriend, some bridal shower for someone from work. I went to the cabin alone, hiked the trails by myself, sat in that hot tub, staring at the stars and wondering when everything had shifted. Meanwhile, mutual friends started reaching out with awkward messaging. Hey man, probably nothing, but saw Carara at that new bar on 4th Street last night. She was with some tattooed dude on a motorcycle. Looked pretty cozy. Just thought you should know. This is weird to text, but my girlfriend saw Carara at a concert last weekend. Wasn't she supposed to be at her mom's house? Every message was a gut punch I absorbed silently. I'd thank them for looking out, then spend hours staring at the ceiling wondering what was happening to my life. It all came to a head one Friday evening in October. Leaves just starting to turn. That crisp fall air that makes everything feel like a fresh start. Ironic given what was about to happen. I'd gotten home early from work. Stopped at Thai Basil on High Street to pick up her favorite takeout. Pad Thai for her. Extra spicy basil fried rice for me. Figured we could sit down, talk things out, clear the air once and for all. The apartment was empty when I got there. I set the food on the counter, changed out of my work clothes, tried to relax. She walked in around 7 looking distracted, phone in hand like always. No kiss hello, no how was your day, just a heavy sigh as she dropped her bag on the counter. We sat at the kitchen table, food getting cold between us. I started gentle, keeping my voice as neutral as possible. Cara, we need to address this thing with Derek. Whatever's going on, it's messing with us with our relationship. She leaned back in her chair, crossed her arm. This smirk played on her lips I'd never seen before. Cold, almost cruel. Address what exactly? That I'm seeing him again. My stomach dropped through the floor. Seeing him as in, yes. Seeing him, we've been hanging out. She paused. Let that sink in. More than hanging out. Actually, she said it like she was telling me about a new Netflix show she'd started. No shame, no hesitation, just stating a fact. I kept my voice even despite my hands shaking under the table. You're cheating on me with your ex. She actually laughed. This dismissive little snort that made my blood go from cold to boil. Cheating. Come on, don't be so dramatic. It's not like we're married. Derek gets me in ways you don't. He's exciting, passionate, spontaneous, and I'm not. No, you're not. She shrugged like she was commenting on on the weather. With you, it's all routine. Work bills, same restaurants every weekend, same conversation. I feel like I'm living groundhog. Derek makes me feel alive. I stared at her, the room spinning slightly. We've built a life together. I supported you through everything. Your failed job, your debt, your dreams, and this is how you repay that. Her eyes narrowed, that smug tone kicking into full gear. See, this is exactly the problem. You act like everything's a transaction. Like I owe you something because you paid bills. That's not love, that's control. Control. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I gave you freedom support time to figure out what you wanted while I worked 60-hour weeks to keep us afloat. And you never let me forget it, do you? She was heating up now. Every argument, every discussion you bring up what you've sacrificed. It's exhausting. Derek doesn't keep score. He just lives in the moment. He tends bar and DJs on weekends. He lives with 2 roommates at 30 years old. What moment is he living in exactly? Don't mock him just because you feel threatened. Threatened by a guy who peaked in high school and hasn't figured out his life since. Her face hardened. At least he's authentic. At least when I'm with him. I don't feel like I'm following some predetermined script for what our life is supposed to look like. I took a breath, tried to stay calm even though everything inside me was screaming. So what now? What are you saying? She stood up from the table, arms still crossed, looking down at me like I was something she'd found stuck to her shoe. I'm saying I'm going to keep seeing him whether you like it or not. We can try an open thing if you want. Lots of modern couples do that, but I'm not giving him up. Her words twisted like a knife in my chest. 8 years. 8 years of building something together, and she wanted to turn it into some arrangement so she could keep her side piece. An open relationship. That's your solution. Why not? Derek says life's too short for monogamy. And honestly, she paused, looked me dead in the eye. You're not enough for me. I need someone who challenges me, not just someone who comforts. I sat there absorbing. No tears, no yelling from, just the pure unfairness sinking in like concrete. So that's it. You're choosing him. I'm choosing me. She snapped, grabbing her keys from the counter. And yeah, him too. I'm heading over there now. We can talk about the logistics tomorrow, but don't wait up. She paused at the door like she expected me to beg, to cry, to fight. I didn't move. She huffed, clearly disappointed I wasn't giving her the dramatic scene she'd probably imagined. Then the door slammed behind her. I sat there in the silence. Thai food untouched, getting cold. Her promise ring was sitting on the counter where she'd apparently left it weeks ago. I hadn't even noticed she'd stopped wearing it. Here's the thing about me. I don't do drama. Never have. My dad taught me that. When someone shows you who they really are, believe them. Don't argue. Don't beg. Just adjust accordingly. So while she was off with Captain Excitement doing whatever they were doing, I made a decision. Saturday morning, 7 a.m. I called my buddy Nathan, known him since freshman orientation. Solid dude, the kind of friend who shows up without asking questions and doesn't judge when you need help. I need help moving some stuff. You free, dude? It's barely light out. What's going on? Carara and I are done. Need to get my stuff out before she comes back. Silence for a beat. Then I'll be there in 20. Want me to bring my truck too? Yeah, more space the better. Nathan showed up with his Silverado and a cooler full of Red Bulls and Monster Energy. No judgment in his eye. Just grabbed a box and asked where to start. So let me get this straight, he said, while we're loading my TV into his truck bed. Princess Passion decided that 8 years of you carrying her financially wasn't enough excitement. So she's upgrading to some bartender who probably still has a futon as his primary furniture. Pretty much. And you're not going to fight for her. Beg her to reconsider. Write some long emotional letter. Fight for what? She said she's going to keep seeing him whether I like it or not. Those were her exact words. Nathan verbatim. Nathan stopped packing, stared at me. Bro, that's not. We need to work on our communication. That's not. I need some space to think. That's. I already checked out months ago and I'm just telling you now. Because I legally have. Yeah, I got that. Good. Because I've been waiting 3 years to tell you her family sucked and she was slowly turning into her mother. The entitlement was always there, man. She just hid it better in the beginning. We had the apartment cleared of my stuff by early afternoon. I'd bought most of the furniture over the years, but I left it. Didn't want to deal with her crying victim to everyone who'd listen. Just grabbed my clothes, my computer, my books, and the tools my dad gave me when I graduated. The stuff that was undeniably mine. The TV was mine too. The coffee maker, the nice sheet. But I left all of it. Clean break, no ammunition. Left my key on the kitchen counter next to a note. Good luck with him. Lease is in your name. See, she'd insisted the lease be in her name back when we moved in because her credit score was slightly better. At the time, I thought nothing of it. Now it worked out perfect. No legal entanglement. I could walk away clean. Crashed at Nathan's for 2 weeks while I found a new place. Smaller apartment on the east side, but quiet. Just me and my stuff. First night there, I slept better than I had in months. Didn't realize how much tension I'd been carrying until it was gone. Blocked Carara on everything. Phone, Instagram, Facebook, email. Complete digital elimination. Word trickled in through mutuals who couldn't help themselves. Some people just can't resist delivering bad news about your ex. At first it was surface stuff. Posts about her new chapter with Derek, motorcycle rides at sunset, late night concerts, hashtag living my best life, hashtag spontaneous, hashtag no drama zone. But crack showed quick. Nathan kept me updated with screenshots and commentary that had me dying. Yo, she posted a sunset pic captioned, "Finally free to be myself." Like, girl, you were free to be yourself. You were also free to pay rent, which you weren't doing. Then Derek's bar closed. Tax problems, apparently. Dude's fully unemployed now. How's that spontaneous lifestyle working out? Then she's selling her MacBook, the one you bought. posted it on Facebook Marketplace for $900. Guess that essential for design work laptop wasn't so essential after all. Turns out Derek had a gambling problem nobody warned her about. Sports betting apps, poker nights that turned into poker weekend. Guy couldn't hold on to money if you stapled it to his hand. Every paycheck gone within days. Carara tried spinning it positively online. Posts about building together and supporting each other's dreams and ride or die love. Same supportive partner role I'd played for years, except now she was on the other side. The real karma kicked in about 4 months after our split. Got a call from our old landlord, this older Greek guy named Dimitri. I'd always gotten along with your old girlfriend. She's 2 months behind on rent, keeps begging for extension. Says her boyfriend was supposed to help with bills but never came through. I thanked him for the update. Not my problem. The full story came out through the grapevine. Derek had convinced her to quit her freelance gigs for some joint half-baked event planning thing that flopped spectacularly. They blew through her savings on failed launch, venue deposits they couldn't get back, promotional materials for events nobody attended, a website that got 12 visitors total. And Derek's instability surfaced in other ways too. Yelling matches in public that mutual friends witnessed firsthand, controlling her phone, checking her messages, demanding to know where she was at all times, isolating her from friends who tried to warn her. The irony wasn't lost on. She'd called me controlling for remembering her schedule and planning our weekend. Derek was actually controlling, scary control, and she'd walked right into it thinking it was passion. One mutual told me Derek had already cheated on her, some waitress from another bar. When Carara found out, he gaslit her into thinking it was her fault. She was too needy, too demanding. If she'd been a better girlfriend, he wouldn't have strayed. Sound familiar? Same logic she'd used on me, weaponized against her. Then the big one dropped. Derek dumped her, packed his stuff while she was at a job interview, left a note saying she was dragging him down and he needed to focus himself. She came home to an empty apartment. Sound familiar? But here's the key difference. When I left, she had a fully furnished apartment, a job savings, a support network of friends and family. When Derek left, she had nothing. Mounting debts, no saving, no support system, because she'd burned every bridge. About 6 months post-split, my phone buzzed with an unknown number. Hey, it's Carara. Can we talk? I miss what we had. Deleted without responding. A few days later, another. I know I messed up. Derek was a mistake. Please just 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. Delete block. But she got new numbers. Then another. The messages escalate. Voicemail started coming in. Her voice cracking. Look, I know you're angry. You have every right to be. But Derek was off. Actually awful. Not the fake awful you probably think I deserve. Controlling, mean, unfaith. Everything I accused you of being, he actually was. I realize now what I had with you. Please just call me back. I listened to that one once, then deleted it. No sympathy stirred. Then her flying monkeys got involved. Her best friend Brooke messaged me on Instagram. Hey, Kara's going through a really hard time right now. Derek left her broke and alone. I know she messed up, but you're being pretty cruel by ghosting completely. At least give her some closure. I replied, we split. I don't owe her closure. She can work through it on her own. Block. Her sister Rachel called next. Always the enabler. So you're just going to abandon her after 8 years. She made one mistake. She made a series of choices over several months. And being the bigger person doesn't mean being someone's emotional support while they deal with consequences of betraying. Don't call again. Block. Then Carara showed up at my office. Yeah, she tracked it down through LinkedIn. Security guard buzzed me. Sir, woman in the lobby says it's personal and urgent. I told them to send her away. Didn't even go down to see her face. The emails came next since she couldn't block every possible address. Congrats on the promotion. I always knew you'd do great things, but I was there supporting you during those early years, right? Doesn't that count for something? Can we meet for coffee? Just 30 minutes, then desperation. I'm really struggling. Lost my job. Debts piling up. You always knew how to fix things. Help me figure this out, please. Ignore. That's when the anger surfaced. Her true colors shining through. Texts from burner number. Fine. Ignore me. You were boring anyway. Derek might have been a jerk, but at least he made me feel something. 2 hours later. I didn't mean that. Please. One call. That's all. Sweet to spiteful. Rinse. Repeat. The manipulation I'd missed for 8 years. Nathan kept me updated on her social media spiral, providing commentary like it was a reality show. Bro, she just posted a selfie captioned healing journey, but she looks like she hasn't slept in a week. Comments are brutal. What kind of brutal? Someone literally wrote, maybe don't cheat next time. And it has 53 likes. Her friend tried defending her and got ratioed into oblivion. While she spiraled, I actually started living it. Threw myself into stuff I'd been putting off for years. Hit the gym consistently. Not for some revenge body to make her jealous. Just had the time and energy now that I wasn't dealing with her chaos. Signed up at Iron Temple, this old school gym near my new place where guys actually lift instead of just taking selfies. Added 20 pounds of muscle over the next year. Felt stronger than I had since college football. Nathan noticed immediately. Dude, you're getting jacked. This is the My Ex is an idiot workout program, isn't it? It's the I actually have free time now workout program. Same thing, different branding. Work kept climbing too. Those suffocating organizational skills Carara always complained about. Turns out corporate America calls those leadership qualities. Got another promotion about 8 months after the split. Corner office with actual windows looking out over downtown Columbus. Started leading bigger accounts, mentoring junior analysts who reminded me of myself at that age. My boss pulled me aside after a particularly successful quarter. Whatever changed in your personal life, keep doing. You've been on fire lately. Funny how that worked. Remove the anchor and suddenly the ship can sail. Bought a motorcycle Honda CB650R. I'd been eyeing for 3 years but never pulled the trigger on because Carara always said motorcycles were dangerous and irresponsible. Spent $8,200 on it, which would have caused a 3-day argument back in the relationship days. Now my money, my choice. Spent weekends learning to ride in empty parking lots, then graduated to actual roads. Started taking trips up to Lake Erie just because I could. Wind in my face, open road ahead, nobody to answer to or check in with. Freedom I hadn't felt in almost a decade. Nathan joined me on a few rides after he got his own bike, a used Kawasaki he found on Craigslist. We'd cruise around Ohio on Saturdays, hitting up small towns and dive bars with good burgers. You know what's funny? He said one weekend while we're stopped at some place called Big Earl's BBQ in the middle of nowhere, "A year ago you were planning your whole life around someone who didn't appreciate you. Now you're out here living like a Springsteen song." Character development, bro. Started traveling too. Chicago for a long weekend. Finally saw Wrigley Field like I'd always wanted. Nashville for the music scene and the hot chicken that nearly killed me. Even drove down to the Gulf Coast just to see the ocean and clear my head. Sat on a beach in Gulf Shores at sunset thinking about how different my life looked compared to 12 months ago. All that spontaneity Carara claimed I didn't have. Turns out I just never felt free enough to express it when every decision had to revolve around her needs and her schedule and her drama. The real revelation was how much energy she'd been drained. Without her constant chaos, I had bandwidth for everything. Better sleep, better focus, better relationships with friends I'd been neglecting for years because she always needed to be the priority. Then I met Jordan hiking group I joined on a whim after seeing a flyer at the gym. First trip was to Zelaleski State Forest, about an hour southeast of Columbus. She was in the group, tall, athletic, easy smile. Turns out she's a veterinarian with her own practice. Has this calm energy that makes you feel like everything's going to be okay. We started talking during a water break and didn't stop for the whole 7-mile hike. She was genuinely interested in my job. Asked follow-up questions, remembered details I mentioned. Novel concept. Apparently complete opposite of Carara in every way that mattered. Where Carara was impulsive and dramatic, Jordan was thoughtful and steady. Where Carara was always chasing the next thrill and complaining about routine, Jordan appreciated building something solid. She had her own life, her own career, her own interest. Didn't need me to fix anything or carry anyone. Most importantly, she actually appreciated the stuff Carara found overwhelming. "I love that you remember everything," she told me on our 4th date after I showed up with a book she'd mentioned wanting to read. Just casually dropped it in conversation 3 weeks earlier. When you actually listen and follow through, that means more than any grand gesture ever could. My ex found it controlling. Your ex sounds like an idiot. I laugh. That's what Nathan says. Nathan sounds smart. Nathan approved immediately when I introduced them. Dude, she's got her own career, her own place, her own friends. She doesn't need you to fund her dreams or fix her problems. She just wants to share her life with you. That's the difference between a partner and a project. We took things slow, neither of us in a rush. Coffee dates turned into dinner dates, turned into weekend hikes, turned into meeting each other's friends. Natural progression, no drama, no games, no comparisons to exes. Her family was great too. Normal people who treated me like a person instead of a problem. Her dad and I bonded over cars. He had a classic Camaro he was restoring in his garage. Her mom sent me home with leftovers and texted me articles she thought I'd find interesting. Normal family stuff that felt foreign at first because I'd forgotten what it was like. About a year after the split, our mutual friend Brandon threw his annual birthday party. Low-key gathering at his place. Maybe 30 people, coolers full of drinks. Someone brought a speaker for music. Carara might be there. He warned me over the phone. "Just wanted you to know so you're not blindsided." I invited her before everything went down and she RSVP. "Yes, it's your birthday. I'm not letting her dictate where I can and can't show up. You sure I can tell her something came up?" "Nah, it's fine. I'll bring Jordan." Walked in feeling genuinely good about life for the first time in years. Jordan looked amazing in this simple blue dress. We grabbed drinks, started chatting with people I hadn't seen. Then I saw her across the room. Carara looked thinner in a way that wasn't healthy. The kind of thin that comes stress and skipped meal. Not from taking care of yourself. Eyes tired with dark circles underneath. She was nursing a drink alone by the snacks while everyone else mingled in groups. That confident energy she used to radiate. The spark that first attracted me to her back in 2011, completely gone. She looked hollowed out. Our eyes met across the room. She straightened up, smoothed her hair with a nervous hand and started walking. "Here we go." "Hey," voice shake. "You look good. Really different some." "Thanks." Feeling. She fidgeted with her cup. Couldn't meet my eyes for more than a second. "Listen, I know I've been blowing up your phone showing up at your work. It was wrong, but seeing you here in person, it hits different." I waited. Let her talk. "Derek was a disaster. Everything you probably heard through the grapevine, it was all true and worse. He was abusive mentally at first, then it got physical near the end. Cheated constantly. Left me broke." She let out this hollow laugh. That excitement I wanted so badly. I got it, just not how I imagined. He's sorry to hear that. I lost everything chasing something that didn't even exist. That passion, that thrill is just chaos dressed up, pretty instability. I confused for excitement. She stepped close, voice dropped. You were the real deal. Stable, kind, loyal. I was smug, stupid. I threw away the best thing that ever happened. Her eyes were wet now. Please, can we try again? I know I don't deserve it, but I've changed. I know what I want now. I'll do whatever it takes. Jordan appeared at my side right then, slipping her hand into mine. Hey babe, who's your friend? Carara's face went through about 5 emotions in 2 seconds. Recognition, surprise, jealous, rage, then forced composure. Who's she? This is Jordan, my girlfriend. The composure cracked visibly. Your girlfriend already? It's been 14 months, so you've just moved on like what we had meant. Nothing. Jordan squeezed my hand but stayed quiet. Understood. This was my moment to handle what we had ended when you announced you'd keep seeing your ex whether I liked it or not. You made the choice for both of us. I just accepted it and adjusted accordingly. But I made a mistake. A huge mistake. People make mistakes. You can't just throw away 8 years because I had one moment of stupidity. It wasn't one moment. It was months of lying, months of disrespect, months of comparing me to your ex while you were secretly hooking up with him. And when you finally told me the truth, you offered an open relationship like that with some generous compromise. Her eyes welled up, tears starting to fall. So this is it. You're really going to stand here with her and act like I'm nothing to you. You're not nothing. You're just not my problem anymore. You're part of my past. She's part of my future. Her voice rose, attracting attention from nearby conversation. I can't believe you're being this cold. After everything we shared after 8 years, is this really who you are now? This is who I've always been. Someone who respects himself enough to walk away when he's being disrespected. You just never had to see it before because I never walked away. She turned to Jordan, desperate. You don't know him like I do. 8 years. You can't compete with 8 years of history. Jordan smiled, calm and unbothered. I'm not trying to compete with your past. I'm just enjoying the present. And from where I'm standing, he seems pretty happy with how things turned out. Carara looked back at something breaking behind her eye. Please don't end things this way. I didn't end things, Carara. You did 14 months ago. I'm just finally done waiting for you to realize it. We turned to walk away. That's when she completely lost. Are you serious right now? Full volume. Party goes dead silent. Every conversation stopped. You're just going to walk away. After everything we had, keep walking. Don't engage. She doesn't even know you like I do. She's just some rebound who'll never understand what we had. Her friend Brooke came rushing over from across the room trying to grab her arm. Carara, stop. You're making a scene. I don't care. He's making a huge mistake and everyone here knows it. As Brooke tried to physically drag her toward the door, Carara knocked over the entire snack table. Chips, dip, crackers, the works all over the floor. Someone's phone was definitely recording. This was going to be all over everyone's stories by morning. Brandon caught my eye across the room, mouthed, "Oh my God," with his eyebrows raised to his hair. Jordan squeezed my hand as we headed for the exit. Well, that was more dramatic than expected. For me or for her? Definitely for her. She looked like she was watching her entire future walk away. Maybe she was not my problem. We got in my truck and drove to this late-night diner Jordan knew about. Sat in a booth eating pancakes at midnight, laughing about the absurdity of what just happened. So that's your ex, huh? That's the upgraded version, actually. She was worse when we were together. I can't even... That's probably for the best. Heard later from Brandon that after we left, Carara sat in her car crying for 30 minutes before finally driving off. Then she posted a bunch of vague stuff on Instagram about fake friends and knowing your worth that got mocked in the group chat for days. Brandon texted me the next morning. Dude, that was wild. She's officially banned from all future events. Sorry you had to deal with that at my birthday. I replied, not your fault. Thanks for the heads up. 2 weeks later, I'm at my desk at work when my phone... Unknown number. Normally I'd ignore it, but something made me pick up. Is this the guy Carara used to date? Woman's voice, older, unfamiliar. Who's asked? This is Patricia, Derek's mother. I got your number from Carara's phone when she left it at my son's apartment last night. This should be interesting. Carara showed up at Derek's place around 2 a.m. Patricia continued pounding on the door, screaming about how he ruined her life. Here's the thing. Derek's got a new girlfriend living with him now. Whole situation turned into a mess real quick. Police got called. Carara got taken away in handcuffs. I sat back in my office chair. Why are you telling? Because she kept screaming your name the whole time, saying this was all your fault, that if you'd just taken her back, none of this would have happened. The cops asked if there was someone they should contact. She gave them your number, but you didn't answer, so they ended up calling her sister. Appreciate the update, Patricia, but she's not my responsibility. Oh, I know. Trust me, I know. Just thought you'd want to know what kind of bullet you dodged. My son's no saint. I know that better than anyone. But that girl's got screws loose that need professional tight. She hung up. I sat there for a minute processing that. Then I went back to work. Had a client presentation at 2. Nathan's reaction when I told him that night, bro, she got arrested at her ex's place. The ex she left you for. He was absolutely dying, wheezing with laughter. That's not karma. That's karma with a bonus track and director's commentary and deleted scenes. They need to make a Netflix documentary about this. It's not funny. She clearly needs help. Yeah. And she had help. She had you for 8 years and she threw it away for Mr. Spontaneous. Actions have consequences, man. This is just the universe doing math. 2 years since that party. Jordan and I got engaged 3 months ago. Hawking Hills Trail. Same area Carara canceled on me years back. Jordan said yes before I finished asking. Work promoted me to department. Got my own team. Finished restoring a 67 Mustang. 18 months of weekend work. Won third place at a car show. Nathan's take. You got a trophy. An actual trophy. Meanwhile, your ex got arrested at her other ex's apartment. Pretty clear who won. Carara finished some treatment program, moved to Indiana. Fresh start. Nathan asked if I ever think about what would have happened if she hadn't cheated sometime. Then I look at Jordan and realize I'd be stuck with the wrong person. Carara did me a favor. She just didn't know it. Worst favor ever delivered. Best outcome though. 8 years waste. Rebuild took 2. New career, new girl, new life. She said she'd keep seeing him whether I liked it or not. I said, okay, and built something better.